Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Project Ozone 3 Kappa mode. Yep, we are down towards the bottom of the world here, and I built out a little platform where really it's a box or a cube or whatever. It is time for us to finally get around to upgrading our mob farm. Yeah, so this thing is nothing special at all. It's just 3 tall on the inside, right? And I just have torches lit up. Yeah, I just got done building, you know, just the frame of it, nothing super special here. So the idea is we're gonna have a mob masher right in the very center here. So this is our elevator. I actually haven't tested if this thing works. We might want to test that. Can I still get down to the very bottom of the world? Yeah. So we can get all the way down here. This is where our ember boar is. I did go ahead and I removed the squid spawner thing that we had here. I removed our wither boss killing thing. We can move that wherever. That doesn't have to be right here. And then I also removed the Shoggoth area that we had because, like, I think we're pretty much done with those. And if not, we can always just rebuild it. That's not a big deal. I hope this thing's gonna work once they put the mob masher under here. I don't know if it will or won't. But anyway, we're gonna use mob masher to kill mobs. Let's actually go up here and grab it real quick. Mob masher. We made this thing like forever ago. Like literally forever ago. I'm just gonna break a hole and make it simpler. So we want to test and make sure that I can still get down to the bottom of the world through this thing. So that's gonna go right here, and then that needs a redstone signal to turn it on, and then we can put in all the different upgrades here. But yeah, let's go ahead and test this real quick and make sure I can still warp through here. Oh yeah, that looks fine. So I think the idea that we're gonna do with this mob farm, we're gonna have vector plates all pushing the mobs to the mob masher in the very center. Now this thing will produce XP, so I do want a way to collect XP, the liquid XP, or at least solidify it, maybe with an XP solidifier. I'm not sure what our options are right now. I haven't looked at it, but I'm tired of having to vein mine for XP. I want to have like a large collection of XP available to us. So we're going to be collecting that, and then the drops we're going to be collecting, and I think we're going to use barrels. I think we're going to try the barrel storage. We got ourselves an item barrel, and we saw the infinite capacity is like really cheap, and there is the item barrel connector, which I think is like, yeah, you can search through this thing and see all of the stuff. So basically, I'm pretty sure you can use this like the drawer controller, so you can pipe items into it, and it'll find the correct drawer, and then again, you can just search it and like find the items that you're looking for, right? So I think we're gonna try this. So infinite item upgrades. We're gonna have all the drops going into barrels, so we got to make a bunch of those. Is there anything else that we're missing? I guess we should look at the upgrades for that. So if we take a look at, what is it, mob grinding utils? Yeah, we're gonna want the looting upgrade so we get more drops. That seems rather inexpensive. Gold nuggets, redstone, and then lapis or blue dye, whatever. And then we are gonna want the skull. Well, I know you can put sharpness in there, but I don't know if you put sharpness and smite, if the smite works on the undead and the sharpness works on the regular mobs. I'm not sure if we're gonna bother with the smite, to be honest. Like, we want sharpness, that's gonna work for everything. We don't really want fire aspect, that doesn't matter. Bane of arthropods doesn't matter. Beheading does kind of matter, but that's a little expensive. Gold, electrum. Well, actually, and then we got ruby for the helmet, peridot, and sapphire, which I think we have all of those. Ruby, peridot, and sapphire. We're running low on sapphire because we are using that as our armor for a while, but yeah, if we can throw in enough upgrades in there, that's all. I mean, we had less than 50, right? On the sapphire, less than 50 of those, and I need 50 of those in order to make 10 of those upgrades. Is it 10 for the max? Let's take a look. Yeah, maximum of 10. So we'll put 9 in there, and then when we get more sapphires, actually, I probably have more in here, don't I? Yeah, we got them all covered. Okay, so we will do the upgrades for that. Anything else? So sharpness, luck. The sharpness is just iron swords and gold. Very inexpensive. Looting. Okay, so we know how to do all this. I'll make those upgrades. That's fine. As far as the vector plates, we're going to want to make these. So that requires slime, which we have plenty of slime. If you guys remember, down here we have a slime sapling growing, and it grows really fast. Yeah, and we are collecting congealed slime blocks, which is 4 slime per, I think. So yeah, we have that under control. Sugar, we can smelt the rock candy, the hardened rock candy. We have plenty of that. And we're gonna want to upgrade these to the fast vector plates. So that means we need dark sugar. So that sugar wrapped around either an existing dark sugar or withered dust or something. The withered dust we've been getting from our mob farm already, so that's under control. I did upgrade our mob farm. We had talked about that, I think last episode, the episode before, how I was saying that we should upgrade this bag storage so it has its own filter. Yeah, I did that. So we put a filter in here and we are collecting the bags, and then all the mob drops are going into our diamond chest here. So we have large mob drop storage right now, and then I upgraded to a diamond spike, so we're getting more player drops, but I'm not really seeing anything special in here. I guess we got a catalyzing gland, which we didn't have before. Maybe there's something else in there, I don't know. But anyway, let's go ahead and start working on this. I need a whole bunch of stone, so I'm gonna grab some cobblestone and start smelting that. And then make the vector plates, and when I get some stuff hooked up, I'll bring you guys back. Be right back, guys. Alright guys, so I've been doing some work here, and we are now in the process of getting the item storage set up. Now, as you can see, the item storage, the item barrels, when you first place them down, there's a lot of stuff that's rendered, a lot of extra stuff. And that'll start hurting the frame rate the more of these that we have. It's usually better if you can make a block solid to make it solid, so there's not so many, like, I guess transparency renderings. So if you shift right click on the barrel hammer, you can choose the different shape you want the barrels to be in. So you can do a full block so they don't show anything, or you can do a block with a window. And we're doing the one with the window so we can see the display item, or we might just do to the block later on. I'm not really sure how we're gonna do this, but for right now, we are just doing this. Now I did reset up the wither killing area, like I said that I removed previously. I reset that back up because I wanted to make the infinite barrel upgrades, these things, and the recipe does call for another star plus a blank barrel upgrade to give you 64 of these. Yeah, so I killed 2 wither bosses. We have an additional star now, and then I made 64, and then we got 21 of these things left over. I've clicked these all on every single barrel, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think we should be okay. So the only transparent rendering we have right now is this item barrel connector, which is fine. It's a lot better than having, like, you know, more than 30 other blocks with the transparency renders. So I think we should be pretty good in the item storage. Now I haven't tested this yet to make sure that this can collect items and throw it into like a random barrel, or if we have to preset an item for it to work that way. So I guess let's grab a hopper real quick. We'll try this together. Make sure there's nothing set on those, and we'll just throw a random item into this controller and make sure that it does in fact work. So let's put, I don't know, how about these fast vector plates in this hopper? And it chooses right here. Okay, so that does work exactly the way that we want it. So we don't have to worry about presetting a location. So the next thing that we want to do is put an advanced item locator or collector, advanced item collector on there. So over here, I went ahead and I lit up our our very crude mob farm, so we're not getting any more spawns. So we want stuff that is going in this chest to go into our barrels down there. So we'll grab this item collector with the item filter here. Everything should still be set. And the item filter, again, is set to the common loot bag. And then we have checking ore dictionary, and we're blacklisting that. So we're grabbing everything besides these loot bags, right? So that's what we want going into our item barrels. So again, we're gonna have to test this to make sure that it does work with this advanced item collector. And then we also have to see the range. So it's right here. So that's 1, 2, 3. We're probably gonna want at least 4, and then down. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I guess the default 5x5 should work with this. I don't think we have to mess with anything. Okay, we should be good. Let's take a look inside the mob farm so you guys can see what we've done. So we have vector plates, and I've done them slightly differently than I normally do previously, when I set these up, I usually just have a strip going right into the mob masher, and then everything this way of our strip all faces that same direction. I've kind of changed that a little bit, so instead of doing like a pinwheel, well, I guess it's still kind of a pinwheel, but we are doing diagonally from this corner. Everything going this way is facing this direction, and everything beyond here is facing this way. So the idea is to try and get the mobs to the center as fast as possible. The way I had it set up before, where you just have like a strip going this way and then everything facing this direction is the same way, and then everything this way is facing that way, like the mobs would end up circling around the area and eventually they'd make it to the center. But I'm trying this way to see if we can make this go a little bit faster. So for instance, I'm a mob and I spawn right here. I immediately go to the mob masher without circling around the room. I think this is probably the best you can do, I think. I've tried in a few different places, dropping myself, and it seems like I end up at the mob masher really, really fast, so I think we're good. Another thing that I did do with the mob masher is I did just go ahead and make the smite upgrades and the Bane of Arthropods upgrades. I figured we might as well just do it. It's not like it really costs that much, and we have all the resources, so why not? So we have all of that stuff in there. I've left the torches in here because I don't want to spawn mobs just yet. We will be removing those when we are ready. And then down below the mob farm, I put our experience obelisk here that has all of our experience with an absorption hopper. This can collect items and it can collect XP. So we only care about it collecting XP. So on the south side, we have it set to fluid. So it can eject fluid this way. And then the experience obelisk is set up to pull fluid. And if that's still too slow, we might end up putting like a translocator, a fluid translocator between the two. But either way, so we have this collecting the experience only, and then I have items in here. So it will not collect any items, just put something that we'll never get, like abyssal sand, filling up each one of those slots. And then we have the on-off for our mob masher here as well. Now we can set that up, use like Ender IO redstone conduit or something, and bring that redstone signal up here and have a lever available up here to turn it on and off should we want to do that later. But for right now, I think we are doing pretty good. Okay, so we have item collection figured out. We have experience collection figured out. And this is no longer needed. I had that there for storing our vector plates. I think we're pretty much good to go here. Oop, yeah, I didn't want that to be collected. I think we're pretty much good to go to try this. Yep. So really the last thing we need to do is remove the torches and replace all of the blocks that have torches on it with the vector plates. And I should have plenty of those ready to go. So I'll just follow the pattern here. Start from, whoop, that's not right. Follow the pattern here, start from the center and work my way out. I do have an escape path way over there, but if any monster spawns, they should be going towards the center. They shouldn't be able to fight these plates at all, but this place is big enough that monsters will be able to spawn by the time I'm at one side. Anyway, we're just gonna go ahead and get this all done here. Okay, well, all the lights are off, mobs are spawning in there, so if we turn this on, this should be all we need to do to start collecting all the drops. So we should start seeing XP in here, we should see this going up. Well, nothing's spawning because I'm right here, right? We'll probably have to back off a little bit. But yeah, you can see already we got quite a lot of stuff. Ooh, items are popping through the floor. I wonder why that is. We also need to collect the loot bags. That's another thing that I did not get set up. We're gonna do that now. Otherwise, we're just gonna lag ourselves out with all those loot bags. So we need to come over here and grab this guy. Okay, just grab that. Now that does retain the loot bags. You don't lose them when you break that block, which is nice. And then I'll just set this, I guess, on the opposite side back here. 1, 2, 3 block. This guy with the filter and 5x5x5 should be good enough to grab all those things. Yep, so we should be good to go. All right, so currently looks like, oh, we are getting armor drops. That's something that I didn't even take into consideration that we'd be getting. Okay, so it might be Oh boy, we might have to like have this go into like a trash can first or some kind of a chest to like split the direction of the drops. Yeah, getting armor and stuff, that is definitely not something that I want to have happen. Well, I don't know, guys. That seems like that's working pretty good to me. I mean, we expect this to work pretty good. This is pretty low on the Y level, and it's like 29 by 29 area, and as soon as mobs spawn, they get sent to the center and then killed immediately, which is freeing up the mob cap once again. Now, we are spawning a bunch of bats in here, and that's something that I don't particularly like. I don't think there's really anything that we can do about it until we do a little bit more Ender IO stuff and do like one of the aversion obelisk things. Ooh, there's another bag down there that we don't have a way to collect. So currently, since we have bats, we're getting a whole bunch of these bat bags. So I set up an item barrel here with an advanced item collector to grab that. And then we have the other loot bag thing over here. It looks like we got about 30,000 more of them since we last looked at this thing. Yeah, we saw that. And then I've had to expand out our wall of barrels here. I did switch these over to the solid block instead of the one with the window on it. But yeah, we are collecting lots of stuff. I brought pretty much all of our mob drops from upstairs and I brought them down here. Brought our ink sacks over here. Even though we're not actually farming squid, we could like set up the farm thing right here and have the squid die on this glass floor, which would be collected and then added if we wanted to do that. But yeah, we're getting a lot of stuff in here that I didn't know about. Like for instance, these things, the Heart of Diamond, I don't even know what these are. They're from Quark. What are they used for? Are they useful for anything? For making a pick-a-ring, I guess. Okay. Is that useful for anything? I'm sure it's useful for something. Anyway, yeah, I didn't even know those were in the game, for instance. And yeah, we're getting all sorts of good stuff. The archaic bricks and 10 stacks of redstone, apparently. That's a thing. We're getting diamonds and emeralds. We're getting Eye of the Storm from the charged creepers, golden apples, all the different types of horse armor. I'm not sure why we're getting that stuff. Some mob is obviously dropping some of these rare treasures. Yeah, lots of good stuff. Anyway, so that's the way we have that set up. And then on the back behind here, I have an item conduit just trying to extract anything that it can. And then we're going into an item filter here. I'm going to turn this off so we can see this. So never active. So if we look in the filter here, we can see that I have a full set of golden armor, a full set of leather armor, and then we're missing a chain helmet here. Once we get that, then we'll be fully covered as far as I know from all the different armors that can drop. I guess it's possible that rarely mobs could drop diamond armor, and we got a slot for that. But yeah, I think the only thing we have to worry about filling up the rest of our barrels right now would be these chain helmets, but we'll keep an eye on that. So that's in the trash can, and then again, this is just set to always active, trying to pump any of those items into this trash can to delete them since we don't care about the armor pieces. Ooh, look at this. We got ourselves a shovel, so that's something else that we're going to have to worry about. Well, we got ourselves, you know, a few extra barrels here, and if we get some random items like that, we can always change the filter and add more things. These filters you can also nest inside each other. So you fill up all the slots inside of one filter. Well, you can get a new filter and place this one as the item to filter in the new one. And then you have like 16 nested filters that you could do. Well, anyway, we'll worry about that later. For now, I think this is doing exactly what we wanted to do. We're collecting XP as well. We should take a look at how much we've collected so far from that. So I think we're at like 120-ish levels previously. We're now up to about 140. So we're looking good on the auto XP collection. Yeah, I like the way this farm has turned out so far. And since we have a new mob farm, I went ahead and I just removed the existing mob farm that we had over here. It's all gone. It was just cobblestone. No big deal. Just put a fence, or I put the cobblestone wall back here so we don't accidentally fall off. And yeah, speaking of things that we've removed, I've also removed our agricraft growing area that we had right here. Yeah, I'm trying to like move things from down below in this little basement area upstairs. Like, it was pointed out to me in the comments that we have this nice upstairs and I keep coming down here and building stuff and putting things and all of this. I'm trying to like move towards not doing that. So every time I get a chance to, I'm trying to move things upstairs. So right here, right over here is our agricraft thing, kind of nestled into these trees. We could move it over so it's a little bit more concealed, I suppose. But yeah, for right now, that's where that is. So when we need to do something agricraft, we can just come over here and jump into this. Below, I did make some concrete, 2 blocks deep, so we can remove the dirt and then remove the concrete and place in other things for when we want to breed, like, you know, glowstone or netherrack or whatever other blocks that we need, and not have to worry about those falling into the void. Okay, so like I said, I took most of the mob drops that we had up here and I brought it downstairs. And I think we're about done with the mob farm for today. So what we needed to do was we were working on trying to get to the enemy controller, and we saw that we needed both pneumatic craft and mechanism to do it. Well, I think we want to start, well, actually, and it also requires some nuclear craft in there too. I want to start trying to get the LPG so we can make the plastic, right? Because plastic is pretty key in order to do anything in pneumatic craft. So like, we're going to need a bunch of these transistors that requires this black plastic. And yeah, we have to do some stuff here. So that all pretty much starts at the refinery. Like if we look for how to getting LPG, you can see in a refinery, we put oil into it and then we get diesel and LPG. Now, if we make the refinery 2 blocks tall, we can also get kerosene. And if we make it 4 blocks tall, we can also get fuel. I'm not really sure how important that is, but we'll probably do it this way, get the 4 block tall one, just so we can squeeze everything out of it. So if we do 4 blocks tall, 10 millibuckets turns into 2 of LPG. And if we only do 2 tall, it's the same thing. So you might as well just grab the extra ingredients and make it 4 blocks tall, right? Okay, so a refinery does require us to have nuclear craft HSLA steel ingots. And HSLA is made only in the alloy furnace. So this guy is pretty much our key to doing what we want to do. And we already have that bookmark here. So we want to do the alloy furnace, and that requires us to have all of this stuff, including the enhanced alloy smelter. So we kind of looked at this recipe a bit last episode. There's a lot of stuff that we need to do, and we can do it all. We just haven't done it yet, really. Well, actually, I did make some of this energetic silver for like those capacitors we had to make. Vibrant bimetal gears. Remember the cheap recipe we had before where we could just pour a little bit of vibrant alloy onto one of the bimetal gears? Yeah, that recipe's gone. So we had to make the energized bimetal gear and then craft it with the vivid alloy and the vibrant to make this. This does have EMC, so eventually we'll be able to like just EMC it. And the energized bimetal gear comes from the infinity bimetal gear with energetic alloy and energetic silver ingots. And the infinity comes from iron, iron nuggets, and grains of infinity. So yeah, a little bit of a crafting rabbit hole here that we have to go through. We're going to want to make another alloy smelter. We're definitely going to want that because we want the existing one that we have, and we have to upgrade that to the enhanced alloy smelter in order to make this alloy furnace. So I might end up just making 2 of these. I might just do that so we have our own enhanced one. But anyway, there is a lot of crafting stuff to do here. We need tough alloy, which... how do you make tough alloy without the alloy furnace? Because you need the alloy furnace to make that. I guess we should figure this out. Can we do tough alloy in the smeltery? Melter, salt, fluid tank, alloying. Okay, so we can alloy molten lithium plus molten ferroboron to get molten tough alloy. Well, ferroboron is something that we're going to need. Can we alloy that as well? So boron plus steel. Yes. So it looks like we can do all of this stuff in the smeltery in order to be able to do it in the alloy furnace that we're going to need. Oh boy. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and start working on this. In fact, it's probably going to be best if I grab our ritual inker and put it over by our smeltery, because this does affect the smeltery. Yep. We can make this all go that much faster. By tick accelerating that. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tick accelerate that, and we will be right back, guys. All right, so I have been at this for, I don't know, it feels like an hour, might be longer. we are now at the point where we can make the alloy furnace. So I made the enhanced alloy smelter. Well, I made 2 of them like we were talking about. So we have another enhanced one down here. So it's all the same thing, just upgraded the one that we had existing. And then I also had to make a sag mill in order to do this because we needed, I can't remember, it was something, I think it was the enhanced die blend. We had to make end steel chassis, which we hadn't had to make before. That is end steel ingots plus end steel bars. I think we've made end steel, but just haven't made this yet. Anyway, the enhanced die blend required us to add grains of piezoality, which is only crafted in the sag mill or the manufactory. I tried putting it into the pulverizer from thermal expansion. It wouldn't have it. So yeah, you make pulsating crystals, which is empowered diamond plus pulsating iron and electrotine alloy. Yep, had to make 4 of those to turn into these to do this nonsense. Well, anyway, we have everything ready to go to make our alloy smelter thing, our alloy furnace. Yeah. So I was able to do all of the tough alloy and the ferroboron in the smeltery. There wasn't too much to note on that. The ritual inker did speed up casting, like the fluids in the casting table or whatever solidifying into the ingots and the hopper extracting them. Or I guess we have our item extraction. But anyway, it didn't seem like it was speeding up melting of the items. Or maybe these things just melt really, really, really slowly, but it didn't feel like it was improving the speed. But anyway, we now have this particular item, and we have collected so many quests. Let's take a look here. So under Ada, we have gotten energetic alloy, vibrant alloy, pulsating iron, energetic silver ingot, vivid alloy, simple sag mill, and regular sag mill. So we've gotten all of these. Let's claim those. And then I think there was more than that, wasn't there? Maybe not. Maybe that's all the ones that we have collected. Okay, so that's an additional 35 more RAK to our total here. So we're up to 13 stacks plus 40 at this point. Quite a bit. All right. So now that we have the alloy furnace, we can kind of go back and look at making some of this stuff. So steel frame requires that tough alloy. Well, we got plenty of that to make another one of these. HSLA, though, that's iron dust plus carbon manganese blend. I didn't even look how we can make this. So we need manganese dust plus graphite. Well, how do you get manganese? I think that's something we're going to have to figure out here. Manganese is there an ore for it? Or is there something? I feel like there's like a special way to get it through nuclear craft, but it's been a minute. Molten manganese, a melter. No, nothing special here. I don't know if there's an ore that we have to get. Okay, well, I tell you what, instead of me just flipping through JEI, let me see if I can find out and we'll be right back. All right, so it looks like you get the manganese dust. The only way to make it is through the crusher from Immersive Engineering. This is the only way that I can see to get it right now anyway. It doesn't look like that it has any form of EMC, so this might be the only way to get it in the pack. Maybe? I don't know. Anyway, tungsten ore chunk you can throw into here. So I just got done sifting a whole bunch of crushed netherrack. So let's go ahead. I've seen this happen before, guys. Like, there's like random spots in the world that just have an X on it where mobs can spawn for some reason. Like that, by all rights, should be perfectly lit next to this, but I've been seeing that around, and I'm not sure what's causing it. Anyway, yeah, there's another, look at that. There's like 2 more over here. What the heck is going on with this? I don't know. Anyway, mobs can spawn there because I have seen that happen. I almost got blown up by a charged creeper on the lower floor because that happened as well. Anyway, let's try putting like a stack of tungsten into here. So this should just work and it should spit out stuff, and eventually we should get manganese. Oh, you know what I really should do is get myself a chest, right? Because you can place a chest there and it will output into that chest instead of just dropping on the ground where it'll eventually despawn. We don't want that. Yeah, okay, look at that. We already got manganese. Awesome. So I'll place that here. Okay, so there we go. We got 1 manganese. It's supposed to be at 10%. So we'll see about that. I'll probably go ahead and throw the rest of the tungsten in here because we want to get as much of that manganese as we can. Yeah, only one piece so far. That's not looking very good. I am very curious though why we do get those random dark spots in the world. I'm not sure what's causing that, and I really would hate to get blown up by a creeper because of it. I don't know. I'm not seeing any more of them, but we definitely have seen a couple around upstairs, and I saw some downstairs, which I took care of previously. Not seeing any other dark spots. Oh well. Hopefully nothing bad happens because of that. Okay, so we're up to 2 of those. So just so we can see here, so that we need the carbon manganese blend in order to make, was it the refinery? The HSLA? So 1 carbon manganese will get us 16, and a carbon manganese is crafted directly in our crafting grid with graphite and that. So I guess we're okay right now. Let's grab the 2 that we have. We'll get some graphite. Graphite. I accidentally, a while ago, melted down some coal, I think, at the smelter, and it casted it out, and we get these graphite ingots. So that's where those came from. We've had those for quite some time now. Just throw that into here. All right, so that's done, and there we go. So there is 4 carbon manganese blend. So that part is done. And then the HSLA, we need iron dust 15. Yeah, okay, so I guess 4 less, we need 60 iron. And then that'll go with this to make all of that HSLA. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm just going to go ahead and get this stuff. That does work, right? Oh, wait, no, you need like 15 of it to craft. Let me look at this one more again. Oh, yeah, that's also in the alloy furnace, which we haven't used yet. Okay, well, tell you guys what, we are reaching the end of the episode. We still got more stuff to do. We were able to get to the alloy furnace in nuclear craft. Next episode, we should be able to jump into pneumatic craft here. Said that weird. We should be able to jump into this next episode unless there is some other gotcha that I'm not aware of just yet. But yeah, I think that is going to do it for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to leave a like on the episode if you did like it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.